Good evening. My name is Lia Gapanyuk, and I am a teacher of German and English from Ukraine. And now I'm recording an example of a lesson called Changing Lifestyles. It's basically a comprehensive lesson which combines revision and acquiring of new vocabulary items associated with the topic lifestyle. Then revision and practice of past simple forms. Uh, the third activity will be uh, devoted to the uh, practice and comprehension of general content and specific details of the text. And the final section of the lesson is devoted to giving students a possibility to creatively and independently use the example which they have read before in the third activity. So let's go on and let me show you how this lesson would look like, in my opinion. So hello guys, I'm very glad to see you. Thank you for coming to the lesson. I hope everything is going well. I hope you're doing well. And before we start our lesson, I want to share with you quite an interesting experience which happened with me only yesterday. You will never guess, but I found my diary. Do you know what is a diary? Yes, exactly. Diary is when it is the notebook or the notebook and the process of writing about your life when you make notes of your plans, of the events which take place in your life. Exactly. So I found my diary, uh, which I which I was writing 6 to 7 years ago. And what's interesting, I saw that a lot of things which I was dreaming about, which I uh, imagined in my future life, they really happened to me now. They have happened by now, not everything, but a lot of them. And why it's interesting, it's a coincidence, but our today's lesson is devoted to the topic changing lifestyles. And the diary situation inspired me to the first activity of our lesson. So, if we speak about changing lifestyle, then I suppose it's interesting for us to get to know how your lives changed in the 5 year period. So now is 2022, and please, what I ask you to do now is to write down a couple of sentences or simply word combinations describing what was different in your life 5 years ago and what it is different now. For example, I'll tell you about myself. I lived with my parents in my hometown Sumy 5 years ago, and now I am married and I live together with my wife in the Dnipro city. It's an example. Now allow me to give you 2, 3, maybe 4 minutes. Write down what was different in your life 5 years ago and now. Well done. It's very interesting to hear everyone. Please, whoever wants to start, share your answers, share your experience. Dmitry, right, you are. 5 years ago, you were still studying at university, and now you have got a full-time job. Naturally, quite a standard situation. Alona, what about you? Quite interesting. You didn't have a pet 5 years ago, but since then you have taken a beautiful ginger cat called Musa. Right, it's a great change in life. And so on. The students will answer and give their answers about changes in their life. It's an objective discussion of the lesson. Let's continue. So this idea, the first activity was in general to remind you that our life is dynamic. Although it seems that not so many things change from day to day, but if we take a longer period, a period 5 years apart, then for many people it will you will see that a lot of things, a lot of parts of their lives, components of their lives change. And the next activity will help you to improve your ability to speak and to explain about the changes which take place in your life, the changes which happen with you. It will be the practice of past simple forms of regular, irregular verbs. I know that in general you know them quite well, but as with anything, revision is the mother of learning. So when you revise, you show yourself that you remember it and you become more confident. Let's open our books on page 24 and look at exercise number 3. Sergey, could I please ask you to read the instruction aloud? Thanks a lot. Thanks to Sergey, we now know what we should do in this exercise, which is quite interesting. The text is about Bill Gates, a very famous person. A lot of people adore him, including myself. And the assignment is to complete correct words, appropriate verbs in the past simple forms. Of course, they are irregular, irregular. My personal advice for you will be try first to use your memory and not to use any reference material, including the internet, and try to check yourself whether you remember or not the correct forms of the verbs. Of course, when you have completed this task, somebody, whoever wants, a volunteer, will read the full text, including the completed gaps, and you will be able to check your answers, and if necessary, we'll discuss the mistakes which you have made. So this is all. I have been speaking for more than 8 minutes now. Please rate my lesson. I will be glad if you comment, if your comments include any productive and consistent advices which I can use in order to improve my lessons. Thank you very much.